Premier 7.
The Premier League decides to restart its career, but boy, week 1 is a week that some persons would say it is excited, some would say it was okay, and others would say, let's forget it. From a point of brilliance to a point of normality to a point of mediocrity, that was on display by the teams of the Premier League. Welcome to Premier 7. I am your host, Ryan Nelson. And no face, no problem. The show have to go along. I hope that you all are having a time of peace, a time of excitement, and to find another word, I will just keep that throughout the continuation of the show. The topic for today is all about the Premier League career resumption week 1 assessment. By way of that, I just want to say Premier 7 is available to provide you with the details on this. I watched some of the games and they were okay for me, but there were games that stood out in a way that I would say that gave me excited. And some were mind blowing. For example, Newcastle versus Aston Villa, that 5-1 demolition. Burnley versus Man City. If it was an upset, then I would have more expression. However, no Hurricane. Spurs decides to draw against Brentford. And the Liverpool-Chelsea clash. It is always the same results. It's like you're expecting for something to happen, and even when you're not thinking about it, it will happen. A draw again. Arsenal continues to play as how Arsenal should play, but will they fall along the way, not able to catch Manchester City like last season? I mean, the Premier League is the league of all leagues, and it's a league that I prefer. And it is a league that I would say is very competitive and very challenging. I have to pause for a few seconds because I cannot believe how on earth Manchester United and Wolves game resulted like that. Onana, what's his name? If he wasn't good enough, then I tell you, 3-0, 4-0, or 7-0 could have been the result. At best, if it was Liverpool playing against Manchester today, there would be a lot of, I don't know what the fans would have thrown on the players, but the midfield needs a savior. Amrabat, please tell Tenag and the man them say, yo, come and sign me right now because the midfield is garbage. But let me not stick on Manchester United as the main topic because it's an assessment. I want to start off with a few games before I speak on that. But before that, I want to say Premier 7 basically makes changes. Uploading videos and doing live streams will be done at 8 p.m. Jamaica time, apart from watch alongs. And I was trying to do the watch along yesterday, whereas you could see my face between Chelsea and Liverpool. Yesterday turned me almost into a madman because the internet was the problem. Flo, I'm coming. Today, I tried the same thing for Manchester United versus Wolves, and the same thing occurred. Flo, I am coming because the internet is what? Too slow. All right. So if you're liking the recording here, of course, you know what to do. Premier 7 do appreciate your support. I have 316 subscribers. Go ahead, watch, like, comment, share. Subscribe, of course. Turn on your notifications bell for more. All right. So let me give you some details on the results because I am not somebody who wants to be all over the place. I believe in being organized. So why not being organized? I want to give you the results for week one. All right. The screen needs to be shared. All right. That was amazing. Just a second, please. Yes, I am back. Sorry about that small delay. Week one, City 3, Burnley nil. Erling Haaland, this man is always a monster. He knows how to destroy any team, whether or not his day is good or bad. Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. It doesn't matter what the game is like. From there's a soccer and there is a pacey team like an Arsenal, the gunshots will not stop fire. Whether it is fired early or late, it will happen. It will connect someone, and it did connect the net of Nottingham Forest. No one was being shot, but the goal was the target. West Ham and Bournemouth. You could flip it the other way. 1-1. It was a fairly balanced game. Could have been better, but things will turn out better off as the teams continues to play. No O'Neill, again as a coach of Bournemouth, he's at Wolves, so that could be the case for which they weren't able to destroy West Ham because no Declan Rice. That should have been a massive opportunity. Brighton versus Luton Town. Brighton is in the Premier League as a monstrous team, like an underdog. But last season position, I think six, it shows that the Zerbi can do without some key players. Like Moise Caicedo is now, I think, officially a Chelsea player. They continue to strike, they continue to destroy teams. And Luton Town was not a major problem. Fulham, Jamaican fans, Bobby Reed was the person who was on the score sheet. And he was the man that scored against Everton. Crystal Palace, Sheffield United, 1-0. Crystal Palace is a team that knows how to deliver, but they have their times for which they will underperform, but it was acceptable. Newcastle United. If you guys believe that Newcastle will not finish in the top four based on this performance against Aston Villa, I think you need to wake up. Sandro Tonali was amazing on his debut. Other players, of course, like Isak, he continues to terrorize defenders. He is full of flair, flashy, Callum Wilson, all of those players. Even the names which I don't mention or give notice to, everyone plays well. Aston Villa, something needs to happen. Brentford, Spurs, I mentioned a draw. Same thing for Chelsea, Liverpool. And United was lucky against Wolves. Let me stop share the screen. For the persons who are listening right away, What is your thoughts on the week ender so far? Do you think that these teams are performing at their best? For instance, a team that are the big guns. The big guns are the teams which I'm speaking about right now. Because if I should pick out one of those teams, I think Manchester United is one of those teams that needs a massive improvement. You have your say, viewers, subscribers, or newcomers. But week one is a week that starts off okay. But to be honest, I am not really feeling the Premier League this time around. I am not really feeling the Premier League this time around. I'm wondering if it's because of the jersey that Chelsea have. It is ugly. It is ugly. Chelsea fans only know when jersey looks good, but this one should be thrown in the bin. But I won't be here to curse or say anything bad. It's all about the results. And I'm going to jump right over to what the statistics will provide to me. Right. This is the source that will give you the information with accuracy. If you do accounts, if you deal with money, many persons own shops and restaurants and whatever it may be. Children go to school, they have to check their bus fare properly before they give their money to the drivers. To get some change, you have to believe in accuracy. A moment again. Not gone for long. All right, so looking on this amazing site that provides the English Premier League details. Newcastle United is the team that is on top because of the 5-1 win against Aston Villa. Brighton, second place, Man City, third. That is not going to be the case. Arsenal may be the team that will finish behind City again. And then, you know, Crystal Palace, Fulham, and Mason Mount. Number 7, Manchester United. That is the top 7. And in the lower end of the Premier League table, Luton Town, Burnley, and Leon Bailey, Aston Villa. The other teams, they are in the middle. Now, I want to just point notice to at least 5 players. Let me say not 5, but 3 over this section. The ratings. Leno, this keeper has displayed the best performance so far in the Premier League in week 1, 9.50 for his ratings. Normally, players, if you check on other websites, like an overall assessment, they could be like 6, 7. But Leno, if you continue like this, then it shows that you will be the best Premier League goalkeeper this season. It has to be clean. It has to be distribution. It has to be awareness and all of that. That is the reason why he was given that ratings of 9.50. One goal was scored. I want to say congrats again to Bobby Reed for that goal. But Leno was a man who was the master of this week. Rodri in second place, 9.20. 30 off Leno. We have to do the maths. Rodri is that player that I think is way ahead of every central defensive midfielder in the Premier League. Casemiro, I see that he's always on his own, but he needs help. Rodri doesn't need help. At the age of 24, 25, Rodri is that perfect central defensive midfielder that you need. Not only because he can get the ball away from the opposition team quite easy, he knows how to score goals. Remember that goal against Inter Milan? That was an example. Onana, you must hate me to be saying this. But then again, you're at Manchester. You don't care about Inter Milan. The money speaks, right? Anyway, Rodri is that player who can break up the lines, passes the ball quite well, good in the air, pacey, very strong. He knows how to deliver in any game. And that is the reason why he was placed at 9.20. And to round up the top three, I'm going to stick to three today. Erling Haaland. I mentioned earlier on that this man is a monster. The amount of food them feed Erling Haaland pan, then I guess he will be that person who will be banging the goals. Erling Haaland, I think he is that man that is not afraid to deliver. Because why should he be afraid when he's a striker? He's a real poacher of the ball. When you see Erling Haaland coming at you as a striker, then you have to be on your P's and your Q's. You have to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. Because if you don't, then the penmanship teacher will give you a zero for your writing. This man will write all over your face in terms of poaching the ball past you and even past the goalkeeper in the back of the net. I think he scored 2 goals versus Burnley. If not two, he scored. Erling Haaland is that striker that only Harry Kane could compete against last season. Other strikers were there, but Harry Kane would normally receive the golden boot. And now he's at Bayern Munich. The curse continues. But Erling Haaland, his first season was last season. He won the treble. And it doesn't look impossible for City to win at least 2 titles this season. Alright, so let me just scroll down because there is more to say. Right? And go ahead, people, and smash a like on this video. Drop your comments. Don't be afraid to say anything. Remember, Premier 7 is for everyone. Premier 7 is for the public. So just subscribe, share, comment, and do all that is necessary for this amazing platform. Alright, let me just move on and scroll down with some more details. I don't want to give much details on this era right here because the same 3 players that was mentioned earlier on is still given the recognition. Leno, Rodri, and Erling Haaland. So let me just move on from that side. Let me see here. So, in terms of average ratings for the clubs, Crystal Palace, Newcastle, and Man City, based on like an overall performance or an overall decision that was being made, these 3 teams were rated higher than the others. Crystal Palace 7.53, Newcastle 7.37, Man City 7.33. So it shows that Palace was more of a complete team on the day. Despite not scoring more goals than Newcastle United, they were more composed. They played the better ball game, irrespective of the players who are at the club. And the opposition as well could be a factor that contributes to that. But the statistics shows that they are the team that received the better ratings. I mean, it won't be like that every week, but Newcastle United could be there next week because 5-1 against Aston Villa, who played very well last season under Unai Emery's management. I am shocked to see Aston Villa failing in that case because Paul Torres was brought in, Yuri Tillemans, and that guy who normally let me say chase Leon Bailey everywhere he goes. He wasn't able to, those players did their part, but, Newcastle is too good. Man City, the team that owns the city. Man City owns the key to the city. I am wondering if Marshall Montano is that person who is the owner of Manchester City because he was given the key to the city in Kingston, Jamaica. On which day? Independence Day. But I'm not here to speak about that. I'm here to speak about football. But Man City will not be like that at all times. I think they will go even up more in that regards. So, I mean, it was a good week one for the Premier League. Let me just give you some facts here. 27 goals, on average 3 goals. Amazing home wins, 33 away wins, 33 draws, 33, and those are all in percentage. Yellow cards 4.11, red cards 0.11. Number of competitors, of course, 20, division level 1 in England. So the overall assessment wasn't bad in terms of the goals scored because to be scoring 3 goals in terms of overall calculations, it showed that goals have been scored. Not by one, not by two, but more like three on average. That is a lot of goals. And it was fairly balanced in terms of how these teams win. It was basically distributed equally. If you have a pie, you can see home, away, and draw. So it was fairly shared. And yellow card was more so than red cards. That is good. Casemiro, you escaped. Is that the case? Well, it could be. And yeah, that was what took place. So just to repeat something here, Leno, Roger, and Erling Haaland were the 3 best players in the Premier League for week one. And maybe persons may have a different opinion because Enzo Fernandez played quite well in the game against Liverpool yesterday. But the statistics show the calculation, and I don't disagree. And it was really and truly a good week for the Premier League. Nothing crazy happens. The Premier League just begins. I don't like the start. I'm not feeling the Premier League so far. But, let's just see what will happen as it continues. Because the Premier League is the only thing that can continue its career. Unlike Cristiano Ronaldo, who can compete, he cannot, but he's a player who have the longevity. Other players would hang up their boots, but the Premier League on its own, season after season, the playing have to take place, right? So I want to say something here, though. Who would you, as fans, basically choose in your FPL team of the week? Who would you choose as your FPL team of the week? Then again, that is your homework for you to complete. It is now my time to go, and no face, no problem. I have to do the live stream, and this is a pre-recorded um, assessment because of the issues that I encounter recently. But of course, Premier 7 have to do what is necessary. Again, to reiterate, Premier League career resumption, week one assessment. Of course, as followers or non-followers, continue to support Premier 7 with the 316 subscribers that are here. I need them to improve or to increase. Everyone needs to monetize as best as they can. But the main purpose is that I work my best or I try in every legal way to get my videos out here for the fans to listen and to hear what is taking place. It is now my time to go. It was a pleasure doing this, let me say, review or assessment for you all. You do all have a wonderful day. It is now my time to go. Take care and goodbye for now.